of money, by the way. At the end of his first week as Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, now facing an unusual amount of focus on his finances. The Daily Beast had this headline, for example. Does new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, have a bank account? That article claiming that he has never listed a bank account on his disclosures and is hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, potentially, they say. Now, what this makes me think of is this. If the Speaker of the House is facing these kind of financial hardships, does Congress deserve a raise? They currently make $174,000. It's been unchanged since 2009. Mulvaney's smiling because I just teed him up. Mick, you think this is something that's a long time coming.
Yeah, I don't hear Starwell groaning because he's sick and tired of agreeing with me, so we got to find something we disagree on. Look, tell me somebody who hasn't gotten a raise in 15 years. These folks, adjusted for inflation, that 174 should be roughly $250,000. There's 150 members of Congress, at least up until this Congress when they changed the rules, that live in their office. I did it for 6 years. Why? Because that's not enough money to maintain a residence in Washington, D.C., and back in the districts. And voters expect us to be back in the district on the weekend and in Washington to work during the week. If you don't pay them for the work, what's going to happen is only folks who don't need the money are going to run for office.
So what should the...
Where state lawmakers, by the way, in this state haven't gotten a raise since the 1980s, and the job pays about $8,000 a year. So what you get is folks who don't need the money, or folks for whom $8,000 a year is the best they're ever going to do, and that leads to bad government.
Mick, what about this? What about a pay for performance? Because I honestly think that Congress should get a pay cut because they're not competent. You look at their opinion rating of how people view Congress, they're not doing the work that we actually hired them to do. So what about something where it's pay for performance? Are you more productive as a legislature, as a body overall? Maybe have that. Maybe have some bonuses. If we actually think you're doing a good job, what do you think about that, Mick?
Sure. Keep in mind, most people hate Congress and love their member of Congress. That's the reason that the turnover is so low. I actually came up with an idea that got nowhere, which was to tie it to the median household income. Pick a number, 2 times household income, 3 times, and if the country did better, members of Congress got raises. If the country did worse, they got paid less. But look, everybody in the government gets a cost of living. Social Security recipients get a cost of living adjustment. Federal workers get a cost of living adjustment. Members of Congress are also one of the very few classes of human beings in the country who are not allowed by law to participate in their employer-sponsored health care plan. They have to go on the Obamacare plan. They're not allowed on the federal plan.
I'll agree with you on one condition, that it come with term limits. You can have a huge raise for Congress. I'll give you a huge raise for Congress, but it has to be in tandem with.
I think we just made some policy.
Well,
here.
where's Scott? I'm with Steyerwalt on this, but where's Scott? We got to get bipartisan support for this.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.